Once Upon a Time in Wonderland podcast, Season 1, Episode 6. Who's Alice?
Who's Alice?
I am your host, Molly Southgate, and with me is...
Martha Southgate.
And Rob Southgate. Who's Alice?
Why was
Are
it
they
called
asking
that?
question?
Because Alice was towards the end, Alice, she was turning into a tree. Wait,
Yeah.
no, that wasn't that part.
Well, yeah, it was.
She didn't say that. When she was picking a bunch of flowers.
But it was there in that forest.
When she was picking a bunch of flowers, the Knave of Hearts said to her, "What? He's like, don't you remember anything?" And I think he was saying like, "Alice, come on. And she's like, "Who's Alice?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now that was actually the Burrow Grove where they were, which is from the Jabberwocky poem. And the Carpenter was from...
The Jabberwocky.
Well, no, he's from...
The Walrus and the Carpenter.
Right. Do you remember that poem?
Yeah.
Can you do some of it?
The Walrus and the Carpenter, something to something. Something.
Excellent.
That's all I know.
Oh, come on. You used to be able to recite it.
Yeah, I used to be able to recite it. Do you remember it?
Is it the one about the clams?
Yeah.
What?
Uh-oh. I can't remember it either. We'll cut that out. 'Cause
Yeah.
I can't remember it.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this. So, you want to do that storyline? Alice is trying to find Cyrus, and she's walking west.
Mm-hmm.
And she comes across two nasty men.
Yeah, two like thieves.
And what did they want?
They wanted her to pay the toll. They wanted her amulet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then what does she do?
She kicks their butts.
Totally.
Oh, that was awesome.
She kicks their butts and takes a torch.
Yes.
But that was awesome. We saw like fighting Alice like we saw in the earlier episode.
She was really tough. Mm-hmm. And so she was going over to the dark forest, the black forest, and so that's why she needed the torch.
Yeah.
Right.
So she took that. And
because it's completely dark in there.
Do you remember what the one sign said? Endless night awaits.
Yeah.
Scary.
That was so cool too, how she walked up and it was just like a sheet of dark, and when she put her hand in it,
it was like a portal.
It was kind of like Jello.
Yeah.
It jiggled like when she stuck her hand in. It was like she was putting her arm in Jello.
Black Jello? Yeah.
It'd be like,
I don't even think Bill Cosby would like that.
Like if we took Jello and if we just put it in someplace really warm. Wait, no, in someplace really cold, and we never ate it and just left it there
and it would eventually turn black
for 10 years.
Oh, gross.
I'm not sure that stuff ever ages.
Oh, I bet it would get moldy.
I like to think it would, but a lot of food these days don't really.
A lot of food these days, you don't make
Your
food that would
kids
do
with
that.
your
I don't make
spoiling
things
food.
like that. Okay, so Will then comes across. Well, Will is back. Came back to life, right?
Who's
so
the
he
Knave of
comes
Hearts?
and he comes across a man who's walking along a road, and he gives him some water. Will says, "I'm so thirsty. Can I have some water?"
Yeah.
So the man shares with him, and he keeps walking, and he sees the two nasty men.
Right, and they're... Yeah, go ahead.
They recognize him as a thief,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "Oh, I'm just going to and follow Alice and stuff." And they're like, she's going inside the Black Forest.
So
What,
now he knows where to go.
Those guys were all beat up, too.
And she really took him out.
And they said, what did they say about her? Do you remember what they said?
Didn't they say that she was mad?
And that she attacked him in their sleep. Please.
Nope.
No way did Will
She
believe
was
that.
just walking. If they had left her alone, she would have walked right past them. But they were torturing her. So Alice is in the Black Forest, and she hears howling. And then what happens to her torch?
Oh, my gosh.
It burns out.
Oh, my gosh.
She sees a heavenly light.
Yeah.
And she's out of the forest.
And she enters a beautiful world of flowers, and they're spraying stuff.
And that's where...
Happily ever after that.
No,
nice try.
That's where the carpenter from Wallace and the Carpenter is, and he's got that weird, like, creepy look on his face, and he says, oh, it's all mimsy here in the Burrow Grove. That's the line from Jabberwocky. All mimsy was the Burrow Grove, and the Mumrath's outgrave.
So we remember that, but not the other
She
could remember. She knew that poem.
I remember Jabberwocky from when I was a kid. Beware the Jabberwock, my son. The eyes that flash, the teeth that gnash, I don't remember it. That was close enough.
Mm-hmm.
And a thank you.
So she's being drugged, we realize.
Yeah.
And she drops her sword.
Yeah.
And wants to stay.
Right.
So then Will shows up and sees her there. And
he freaks out saying, nah, come with me, come with me.
Well, how funny was it when he walks up and she says, oh, come see what I made.
Yeah, right.
And she turned her sword and amulet into an art project.
Yeah.
She saw it on Pinterest.
She turned it, she did. She turned it into a craft. And he was not thinking that was a very good idea.
She snapped a picture with her phone and she pinned it.
Yeah,
How
exactly.
When he came out of the Black Forest, or the dark forest? Black forest? Black forest. He, that tree thing sprayed him in the face. Now, when it happened to Alice, she was like, ooh, but then that's what affected her. For him, it sprayed him in the face, and he just goes, it's like getting sprayed with perfume.
Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering the whole time why it wasn't drugging him.
Yeah, he wasn't having a problem with it.
But he tells us later.
He doesn't have a heart?
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
No,
What
I don't
happened
remember
to
that.
She said she gave it back to him, and he never put it back in his body.
Do you remember her giving him a heart?
No.
You know what? It might have been in the first episode.
Yeah. I seem to remember something.
I seem to remember that's what he was after, was his heart, and she was holding on to it, and then she gave it back to him at the end of the episode.
And he never put it back in.
I could be so far off the mark.
We're going to just go with that because none of us remember.
Yeah, okay.
So Will cannot get her out of the burrows, and he realizes that the people become trees.
Yes.
Yeah, because the carpenter, he was like, oh yeah, everything's good. He's like, hello, and then he like kind of touches it or something, and then like a little tree thing, like some leaves sprout out from the back of his neck.
Yep. What movie is that like? Remember the movie where the kid has the leaves?
The Odd Life of Timothy Green.
I was off.
You were a little off.
Oliver Green.
Oliver Green is close to Oliver Queen.
He wasn't
the Green Arrow.
Well, I was going to say he's not all over green. Oliver, get it like all over. He's green all over.
Try the fish.
Green
here
Oliver.
All week with her comedy.
All right, so that's when Alice says, "Who's Alice?"
Yeah.
Ooh,
and
Alice.
Will starts getting attacked by the tree roots, but he manages to throw the amulet to Alice, and it wakes her up just in time.
Right.
And then she stops hurting him with she doesn't attack him anymore, and then she just wants to go, and she attacks herself.
Mm-hmm.
Right, she chops the vines away,
Yeah.
and then she's able to leave.
Yeah.
Because he says, I can't help you here. You have to want to leave.
Yep.
In order to get out of here. And that's the point where she wanted to leave. She realized, I'm trying to help Cyrus.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we do the Red Queen? You want to talk about the Red Queen?
Well, yeah, the Red Queen was important in this one, as she always is.
Mm-hmm.
But she was hunting down Cyrus.
Well, first she goes into the castle and sees the empty bird cage.
Right, and she asks Babu about it.
Okay, now we need to remind the audience, we made up his name.
Right,
because
it's the same. Babu.
It's the same actor from Seinfeld,
Who
and he
played
played Babu.
Babu!
And since they never tell us his name, or we just didn't hear it, we're calling him Babu for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
So
you are a very bad man, Jerry.
she tortures him until he tells her that Jafar left and took Cyrus.
Yeah.
But she doesn't believe him.
Right.
And she tortures him again.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he says, Cyrus went to find his true love.
Yeah.
Right.
And Jafar left.
Well, and he has a really good line there. This one didn't have all the lines. We usually have all these lines written down. But this one, he said a really good thing because he says, you're not going to catch him. You're not going to stop Cyrus. And she says, well, why not? And he says, because he has the greatest thing. She goes, what could that possibly be? True love.
Yep.
So his true love is what's going to keep him safe.
So she sends soldiers after him and goes to find him herself as well.
Right.
And she thinks that if she finds him first, she beats Jafar and she wins. Like they're playing some kind of game.
Right. Well, she doesn't like that Jafar's kind of had the upper hand.
Oh, yeah.
In a lot of this.
He's got hand.
So Jafar has hand.
He does.
And to her, it's not a game necessarily. It's that she's trying to get... Yeah, but she's trying to regain control.
She's playing chess, though. She's the Red Queen.
That's right.
So it is a game to her. But
so smart, Martha.
How does she like chess and so much?
Why not?
If she was would she have access to it if she was a peasant?
To chess?
Yeah.
Well, maybe she learned chess when she married the king, because his castle was already chess stuff. Yeah. Yeah, when they showed his castle in the last one before she was the queen, you saw the chess pieces in the background still. So
so she probably learned it once she became queen.
Right.
So
it's a good thing she wasn't like way into Monopoly, because then she'd be like the red shoe.
Right. That would be
Why would she be a shoe?
Because that's one of the Monopoly pieces. The shoe, the wheelbarrow, the car, the dog.
The hat.
The hat. I always like the hat.
Okay, so Cyrus is getting chased by these soldiers, and he does something very smart. He leaves false tracks to throw them off. So he walks towards the water and then backtracks in his footsteps. So they think he's run across like that he's gotten across the water.
Right.
But the Red Queen...
And the guards are dumb enough. They're like, oh, he went in the water.
They believed him. But the Red Queen used magic to find his actual path.
Right. Well, she didn't believe it. When she got up there, she said, where would I go if I was a genie?
Right.
And she uses her magic, and you see his footsteps light up, and then you see him go into the woods there. So then she starts chasing him that way.
Yep. And then she finds him.
She finds him, and what do we find out about the castle?
Yeah, this was crazy.
It's floating.
Yeah. Well, remember in the last one when Jafar said, wait till he gets out, there is no escaping.
Yeah.
He's going to be very surprised. And I was surprised. I didn't realize it was floating.
I was surprised. All I saw was I think I saw the big cat that I think one time it showed. I might be completely wrong.
Yeah.
But I think it showed.
Are you off your nut?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Except I think one time it showed either that big chess piece castle. Or
Jafar's castle.
And then it showed 2 floating islands.
Oh, see, I didn't catch that. Very good.
Yeah.
So,
I probably am.
What happens then when she catches him?
Do you remember what he does?
He falls to his death.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's going to die.
He realized
the series is over.
He saw Alice's amulet glowing across the huge ravine.
Right.
And he dove in.
Plummets to his death.
No.
Well, he jumped into the water, but I'll tell you what, the way he was falling, that was going to be a big belly flop.
But I thought
big plummet.
I thought that that it was going to protect him, that there'd be a glass, like something there, because...
Why did he fell that far into glass? That would have been painful.
No, right when he was standing off, it looked like there was a glass
like when Alice
ledge
stepped
or something.
Off in the last one.
And it looked like it to me.
See, I thought the magic carpet would come flying in and get him like it did the last one.
I just thought that something was going to save him, but there's no way he's gone.
No, he's not dead. But he belly flopped. I'm sure of it. That's going to hurt.
Yeah.
I'm sure they plummeted to his death.
Why don't we talk about the storyline with Alice being back in England?
Yeah, this was interesting. Well, it was a little confusing.
It was very confusing.
Because they didn't really set it up. You saw Alice walking through the woods.
And then she just
burst
through into England.
But we figured it out pretty quickly. And who does she meet when she comes out of the ground?
A little girl.
Yeah, do you remember who she is?
Hang on.
So she meets this little girl, Millie. Now, what's important about Millie?
She's her half-sister.
Yeah.
I know.
And she's
her dad walks up.
Well, first of all, Alice is very upset when she gets burst out of this hole, and she says, Cyrus, she's very upset because Cyrus is...
Because the last thing she saw before she went through the hole was Cyrus getting pushed off the ledge by the Red Queen.
And plummeting to his death.
And plummeting to his death.
Clearly he didn't die. We're still talking about him.
The magic carpet picked him up.
Yes.
So, crazy.
How come he keeps plummeting to his death?
Because he's not dying, so he thinks it works out for him.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
this time he's going to do it's going to be glass. Wait, no, it's going to be hard, burning hot metal, and he's going to fall on it.
Oh, you are a sick child. You want him to become impaled.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
So, Alice's dad comes walking up, and she said, she can't even believe it. And he can't believe it, and it turns out that child is his daughter, this Millie. It's his daughter,
but
it's her half-sister. And so he's got a new wife, Elizabeth, and this daughter, Millie, and...
who is quite a handsome woman.
Elizabeth is really not having any of this.
No.
And so she says, what? What does that woman decide about Alice?
She's mad, and that she will go to an asylum.
No, but what does she say first? What does she try to get her to do?
Forget about Wonderland.
And get married.
Yeah.
So she wants him to marry some guy that lives down the road.
Darcy, which makes me...
Darcy!
Makes me swoony because... Well, that's his last name, but that's Jane Austen.
Oh.
Darcy.
Oh, are you swoony?
Yeah.
Oh, I love those, but yeah, I love Mr. Darcy. But I don't know if that's who they were referring to, but...
I'm making Mom swoony.
Yeah.
So Alice's dad says that if she's going to stay, she cannot mention Wonderland ever again.
Right.
Yeah.
And he does not seem very happy to see her. So she finally asks him, "Are you glad I'm back? Do you really want me here?"
Right.
And he says, of course he does, but
But think about it.
He's in a very ugly situation.
He doesn't believe the Wonderland story at all.
No.
And she keeps disappearing and then popping up with crazier and crazier stories. So he's in this position of, yeah, you're my daughter. Yeah, you're here. But this is nuts. And now I have to try to deal with, my new wife and my kid and Crazy Train coming in.
What happens when the stepmother suggests she see a suitor when they're...
She breaks the glass and she...
With her bare hand, she smashed out. You know how strong you have to be to smash a glass with your bare hand?
No, but let me try.
No.
Kidding. First it was burning out metal, now it's a glass.
Yeah,
you're a freak.
Okay, so Millie comes in, and Alice is screaming. She's having a nightmare.
Right.
And Millie wakes her up, and they have a little chat.
About Wonderland.
And Cyrus and the father and the stepmother are not happy.
Yeah. Even though it was Millie that asked. Millie was asking about it. They don't want Alice even talking about it.
And Alice was not even mentioning Wonderland. She's just like, oh yeah, he's just somebody I like.
Right.
Stuff.
Now, then they give Alice a choice. Do you remember what the choice is?
No.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. They tell her...
I think it was either forget about Wonderland or go to this asylum.
Yeah,
right.
So you do remember.
Yeah, I would choose forget about Wonderland.
Yeah.
I think I would too.
That asylum was pretty weird and creepy.
I would not go to an asylum if I didn't.
You just have to suppress it, not talk about it, and then just wait until you can deal with it later.
Yeah. Well, she could deal with it privately. She could journal about it. She could.
But the fact that she's having nightmares and she's yelling out, Cyrus, Wonderland, White Rabbit, that's going
to be a problem.
Going to be a problem.
Maybe she could sleep in a tent in the backyard.
Right.
Cyrus, Wonderland! What?
So, she decides to go to the asylum.
And that guy shows up.
Ooh, he's creepy.
And takes her away. It's that guy from the first one. Now, we thought he was one of the Tweedles in the beginning.
But he's not.
But he's not. He just looks like he's Tweedledum or Tweedledee, but he's not. He's kind of the mean asylum guy.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be another Tweedle.
No, there's...
Wait, I think
Well, there are two that they've shown.
Yeah, there are two.
Yeah, but
they're just not round.
They don't look good. They don't look like the actual Tweedles.
Right. They look like David Bowie.
Do you remember that nursery rhyme? Tweedledum and Tweedledee
when
decided to have
a battle because Tweedledum
was upset. Tweedledee
had spoiled his nice new rattle.
Yeah, something like that, isn't it?
Between the two of you got
it.
But
we don't remember how come we don't remember the other one?
They had a crow and stuff in it.
A crow?
A crow came and they decided to take away the battle.
Oh, on Tweet. No, I was saying, why don't we remember the one?
Walrus and the Carpenter. The one that you actually would always say. Well, let's move ahead.
The Walrus and the Carpenter decided to have a battle.
And a crow showed up.
Right. And that's my nursery rhyme for the day.
And thank you.
So we have one more storyline.
Yeah, now this one's not a lot happening here, but what did happen was super important.
So tell us about the storyline.
Jafar stole some poor guy's clothes.
Right.
Well, he showed up in England,
right?
In
Because
London.
at the end of the last episode,
and he stole some poor man's clothes.
Right, White Rabbit. He made White Rabbit make the hole so he could go to London, and he comes out in London.
Comes out of Rabbit's hole.
Yeah, and he's wearing his Jafar outfit, and he needs to look like he's from there, so he steals the clothes from this guy.
And so where was he going?
Wait, I got a question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that guy going to be running around somewhere naked?
Well, he's probably wearing Jafar's clothes.
No, I think he's going to be running. Jafar's too mean.
Well, just keep watching for it. Maybe we'll see at the end of the episode, we'll just see him run through.
He's just going to be running around naked now because Jafar is not nice enough to give the poor man his clothes.
Right. Ooh, how mean.
He's just going to be running around London naked. That would be weird.
Yeah. So where was Jafar going?
To find Elsa's father.
No. Where did he go first? Where was Jafar going? Why did he need the suit?
He was going to ask the mean asylum guy to tell him everything he knew about Alice.
So who did he pretend to be?
He pretended to be a doctor.
Yeah.
Right.
And then the guy told him everything about... Well, no.
No, the guy freaked out first.
He didn't tell him. And then what did Jafar pull out to get him to tell him?
The White Rabbit. Oh,
and then here's
so cute.
And here's my line.
The White Rabbit is so cute.
And he was saying, the guy was denying that this happened. And Jafar's like, how can you deny it when you saw it with your own eyes? And then he pulls out the White Rabbit.
And Jafar says, sometimes the maddest stories are the truest ones.
Yeah.
That was a really good line. Uh-huh. So Jafar finds out what he needs to about Alice from this doctor.
The important thing in her life is
her father.
Her dad.
And then he shows up at the father's house.
Right.
And what does he ask him? What does he tell him he could do?
Can I cut your lawn?
Can I?
No.
Wait. Shoot. He's going to take him to Wonderland.
Right.
Yeah, he says he can take him to see Alice.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you to see Alice, which we know means they're going through that hole and they're going to Wonderland. So now her dad is going to actually see Wonderland. All this thing he's denied. I know that she's telling the truth. Yes, the whole time. Now he's going to see it.
Uh-huh.
Crazy. Which I think that's going to backfire for Jafar because he's going to try to use the dad against Alice. But now the dad is going to be even more on Alice's side.
Yeah, their love is going to be too strong.
He's going to know
that
it's real.
Because even if she's mad at him, she loves him. And,
right.
And even if no matter what's gone on between them, their love's going to be too strong.
Yeah.
And Jafar is not going to be able to manipulate that, I don't think.
Yep.
But we could be wrong.
Could be wrong.
We'll know on the next episode. All right,
the next exciting episode.
Yeah.
I think this was good.
I think it was too.
And so next time we should find out how Cyrus survived the fall. We'll find out how Alice's dad handles Seeing Wonderland.
Right.
And
wait, no. It might not show Cyrus's giant belly flop.
Right.
Well, they should, because that's a big part.
hot metal.
Oh, you're weird. All right, so let's wrap this up.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody. This has been Ever After Wonderland.
No.
And you can listen to past episodes and listen to episodes of our Ever After Once Upon a Time podcast at our website, which is
www.southgatemediagroup.com.
Right. And you can also subscribe to us on iTunes and on Stitcher. And please go in and give us some reviews. You can follow us on Facebook at our Facebook page. Just look up Ever After and like us there. We will post new episodes there and other fun stuff as we find out news and things. And you can also follow me on Twitter at rsouthgate. And there I post stuff about all the different shows that we have on Southgate Media Group. We have like 20-some shows. And for the kids' ones, we have these 2 Ever After shows. We have Cuckoo for Who, which Molly hosts, which is about
Doctor Who.
What a surprise, Cuckoo for Who. And we also have Geek My Kids, where Alex, Liam, and Maddie discuss all the geek things that their dad is introducing them to. So that's a lot of fun, too. Hopefully we'll have some more kid programming coming up soon, but that's it for now. So, for the Southgate Media Group, I'm Rob Southgate.
I'm Martha Southgate.
I'm Molly Southgate.
Now let's wrap this up the way every great fairy tale ends.
Happily ever after.
The end.
If you would like to donate to help pay for this and other Southgate Media Group podcasts, simply go to our website, southgatemediagroup.com, and click on the donate button. It can be as little as $1 or, well, as much as you want. Help keep this fun going by supporting this and our other shows. Thanks again for listening, everyone. You're the best fans in the world.